Now, so many people out there are looking for ways to just heal, to purge this anger. And I think a lot of people, their discomfort comes because they're in careers that don't make them happy.
Yes.
I mean, they're just working. I'm sure people listening right now are sitting at their 9 to 5 job.
Sure.
And I don't know how I've been so lucky. I always say that's the most horrific thing I can imagine. People are say, "What do you fear?" And that's what I fear.
A cubicle.
A cubicle.
In an office. I get it.
I have lived out of my car because I could not
Get it.
go the cubicle route. And I always just trusted in the universe. And I've made some really what normal people would think are wacko, blind faith decisions. But it's always worked out.
Indeed.
Because I've always followed my passion, which is journalism, which is communication, trying to help others. And I never sold out.
Indeed.
And it always has just worked out, even at a point where I thought I had no money left. And then someone swooped in and said, "I want to give you a book deal," out of nowhere. It's just like the universe works in magical ways.
Yes.
So for people who are sitting in the 9 to 5 cubicle and who feel like they're living a life of serfdom,
Yes.
and aren't following their passions, do you have any like baby steps that you recommend they could
Yes.
take to start leading toward their ultimate career and ultimate life?
One thing would be is to be strategical, like actually plan out, and how you get to that point is to ask yourself, if all of this went away, what would I do? What would I do? What would I be every day? If this wasn't the case, if society wasn't set up like this, how would I serve? What fills me up? And if the answer is something like, oh, well, I would, teach ballroom dancing or something like that, but I could never do that because I wouldn't make as much money as I do in the cubicle, right? And it becomes about that thing. I would say become strategic, meaning, and I had to do this for myself because I was in an acting career and I had put so much behind it that I felt trapped by it. I'm like, well, I'm 10 years in now. I can't walk away from Hollywood. And I said, okay, what I can do is switch the energies. So what I started doing was I would do 80% transformational work and 20% acting. And I just kept switching it more and more. I started at 50-50. I started at 90% acting, 10% transformation work.
So just putting your passion,
Exactly.
slowly adding it back
Yes.
into your life.
Small hinges swing big doors. You do little things daily. You'll turn around and you'll go, wait a minute, I have a plan and I can execute this. Wait a minute, I'm having fun in life. And the thing is people don't necessarily have to leave their job as long as they have found a way to tap into that thing that makes their hearts shine. And that's going to come from being strategic about how you're using your time. Because time is the big one here. A lot of people get so caught up in these screens, and they go from working on their box to checking their box to walking in their box and all of that stuff, and they get caught up in that routine and miss what actually is fun. Because that's what this life is about. This life is about fun. It's about experience. I believe that the soul wants to know everything, the profane and the profound. It wants to know the entire thing, and that we all have an individualized curriculum. So my snowflake, you could never, Amber Lyon, you could never be my snowflake. You could never do me, just like I could never do you. And I have a job on this planet. It may just be taking care of a garden, my community garden, which is huge. It may be taking care of my child, which is huge. But like once you figure that out, once you figure what makes your heart light up when you even think about it, then you start edging away at that and finding ways to do that more often. And then if the idea is, hey, I want to actually stop working at this place and I want to do what makes my heart smile, once again, set up for it. A lot of people are like, just jump and the step will appear. Well, yes, but don't be stupid.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you have a mortgage and a
exactly,
family of 4,
don't be a dummy.
You can't just leave. But maybe, like you're saying, when you come home from work, spend your time rather than surfing Facebook, setting up your new career path,
Exactly.
and slowly you'll be able to do it more and more. And I think something you mentioned is a valid concern for a lot of people when they hold this fear to follow their dreams. That's what they think. Oh, well, I'll never make money
Exactly.
teaching ballroom dancing. And I remember my mom saying that to me. You'll never make money as a journalist, you know? And I just always knew it's the only thing I like to do. I have to do it. Somehow the
Yes.
universe will fall into place. And if you're doing something you're passionate about, you're going to be better at it than 90% of the people.
sure.
So who knows, you might open the most successful ballroom dancing studio in LA, or you start having a ballroom dancing channel on YouTube that has 100,000.
Exactly.
Passion is infectious. People feel it. So if people know you're passionate about what you do, they're attracted to you. And that could be customers, that could be money, that could be just happiness in general.
That's what it's about. Everybody's trapped in these little things, including my mother. She's gotten to this point where she's like, wait a minute, I just worked 45 years. For what? I just did all of this to get this little tiny retirement. And I worked a job I was never happy at.
For someone else, making money for someone else.
Trapped in the system, playing the game. But what I remind her is that as long as there is breath in her body, the game is still on. So who is she going to choose to be now? Where are you at in that now? How are you responsible now for that? So yes, you still clock in and you're about to retire, but like, can you find your bliss in that? Can you light up that job? Can you walk in there and make it fun for you? Can you laugh at the way your boss's eyebrows, arch up when he speaks to you about the TPS reports or whatever that stuff is, Like, how do you do that? I challenge everybody right now, if you are working at a job that you do not like, to go in there tomorrow and find things funny. Just be tickled by it. Do your job, still work hard, but choose to find stuff amusing. Watch what happens.